Hi, my name's Kirsty Clode, and thanks for taking the time to watch our Women into Manufacturing and Engineering video. I'm going to take a few minutes to explain a bit more about WiME, and I'm going to use a few slides to do that. So if you give me 5 seconds to share my screen, hopefully that will work, and you'll be able to see the first slide, which is about Women into Manufacturing and Engineering. We shorten it to WiME because it's such a mouthful. As I said, my name's Kirsty Clode, and I chair Women into Manufacturing and Engineering. And that basically means that I help collaborate across the Humber region for a lot of organisations that are very keen to employ more women and girls into their companies. So what is WiME? It's a business-led programme, and it's really here to inspire and encourage girls and women to think and consider careers in manufacturing and engineering, because they're not always known about when we're talking about careers in schools. But actually they're fabulous careers, and we want more girls and women to consider them. It's based in the Humber, so it's here and it's local, and it's supported by a lot of locally based businesses, and these can be small businesses or huge multinational firms. We have the 4 local councils that are part of it too, and the Job Centre Plus and the National Career Service, and we're supported by lots of people who want more and more girls to think about these as opportunities. We started in 2016. And since we started, we've inspired nearly 3,000 girls and women to think about careers in this manufacturing and engineering industry. So you might be thinking, why is Kirsty talking about this? What does she know? These pictures show the types of jobs, or the jobs that I did when I worked for a company. So it was a global company. For those that are eagle-eyed, you'll see in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a Helios, which will give you an idea that the company I worked for my whole career was BP. So it's a big oil and gas company. I mean, actually, I worked in the chemicals part of BP. And the thing in the top left-hand corner, it's a thing called a batch autoclave. And I love chemistry at school, love chemistry, physics, maths, biology. So I was a science person. And when you're at school, you do experiments in test tubes and beakers and conical flasks. But in industry, you tend to do them in, well, in my case, in a batch autoclave, because it's high temperature, it's high pressure. So I studied chemistry at university, and my first job at BP was in that middle of the left-hand side. That site there is the whole site. And I was given a job of developing a new catalyst. But when you're developing chemicals and making chemicals, you don't make them on small scale when you work for a company like BP. It's a big scale. And the thing in the middle at the top of your screen is a chemical plant at Saltend in Hull, and the control room is to the right. So that's how we control chemical plants. But I didn't stay at Hull all my time in BP. I traveled around the world. So I worked in South Korea, I worked in Australia, in Azerbaijan. I lived twice in America. And the thing on the bottom right is an offshore oil and gas installation. And the team I led for BP in Houston, in America, manage those oil and gas platforms. So I've been all around the world, whether it's a cold place like Canada or a normal place, I guess, what we're used to in the UK, like Hull. So everywhere I worked, there were never enough girls in our teams. And I always wanted more girls, because diverse teams make better products. It's a better place to work. And I'm not the only one thinking that, and BP is not the only firm thinking that. So the opportunity really is yours. A lot of the newer, really exciting jobs that are out there in industry, they really need people who enjoy science, technology, engineering, and maths, so the STEM subjects. And there's lots of data out there. Just emails I was reading today, there are a huge number of people that are trying to recruit more software engineers, chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, technicians for turbines. They're all predicted to grow. And luckily for us, they're predicted to grow in the Humber too. So what do we do? In the past, we've run our WiME events face-to-face in places like Grimsby and Scunthorpe and Hull, but due to COVID, we can't do that now. So we're going to do them online. And this November, we're going to host 4 events. We're going to set them up so that you will be able to listen to women that, very much like you, that currently work in these jobs in manufacturing and engineering roles in the Humber. You'll hear firsthand what they liked at school, how they got their jobs, what route they took in, because not everybody's going to use the same route into their job. And they'll tell you all about it. You can ask questions, so it will be using a Zoom platform, but there'll be a chat facility down the side, and you'll be able to ask them questions about what they do, how they got their job, what it's like there. So they'll be online, and there'll be live events throughout November. And the women that will be there talking to you will be people like Ashley. So Ashley is a chemist who works at a company called Ansell that you might not have heard about, but actually all the stuff that they make helps the workers keep away from harmful conditions. So it could be chemicals, but it could also be viruses like COVID. So Ashley's one of the ladies that's going to be taking part. And the questions you can ask, well, you can ask anything you like, but all sorts of questions that we asked once we've done this before is, you know, how did you get your job? What qualifications do you need? Do you offer apprenticeships? All those sort of things you'll be able to ask to these people and get real-time answers from them. So the types of ladies that are going to be there will be people like Claire. So Claire is a software developer. Well, actually, she's the director of development now for a company called Source, which is a software engineering firm. And what we're going to do is run 4 events. Every Wednesday evening, we're going to run an event in November. So the 4th, the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th of November, we will have 4 companies, and each week it will be 4 different companies and organizations that will be online and available, telling you about their careers. So it could be Claire, or it could be people like Dell. So Dell works for Phillips 66 at the Humber refinery. Or it could be someone like Tracy, who was born down on the South Bank and currently works for Lang O'Rourke, grew up in Grimsby. So she'll be telling you about the work that she did or does do for Lang O'Rourke. So she's a chartered engineer, but more of a civil engineer. Or you could be listening to someone like Courtney, who works for Ørsted as a wind turbine technician. So we're going to have a variety of people there that have gone through different educational routes, telling you all about the jobs that they do. But places are limited, so please follow the link in the letter that you got to tell you how to secure your place. So those places are limited. The events are in the evening. We set them up specifically so we don't interrupt the school day, and you'll be able to watch the events with your mum and dad or anybody else in your household who's interested. And once you've registered, you'll receive more information about WiME and the companies that will be attending each event. So thanks for your attention. I hope you'll take the time to come and see what's happening in November and learn more about those fascinating opportunities. Thank you.